Welcome on Trusted Talks with Njabulo Zulu. As you know, this is me, Njabulo Zulu, and I'm back yet again with my pillow. And today I will be having a conversation with a young girl who is BUHLE, who went through some depression and also mental problems. So join us as we continue to speak with her. Hello and welcome to the show. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
So my name is BUHLE MTHIMUNYE. I am 17 years old. I'm originally from Njabulo but lives in Winterfeld, and I am a depression survivor.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. And
thank you so much for being with us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
So I want to ask you about your upbringing. How did you grow up?
I have both my parents, 5 siblings, and it was just a normal household. Nothing much and nothing less, except the drama of the siblings and whatnot. Yeah.
So you're the firstborn?
Yes, I am the first.
How is it like having younger siblings around?
I think when I was young, it was nothing much about it, but the more I grew up, it felt I had the pressure on being the first child. It's a lot of work, yeah.
Yeah. So at school, how was your life at school?
School was just normal, but when I was young, I was really shy, and I had a problem with socializing. So it was really hard being at school where you meet different people and with my character. So it was really difficult. But by the time I got to grade 4, yeah, I had already been the one girl you'd like to be with, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you say you have been through bullying or?
No, I've never been through bullying. They would never bully me. Yeah.
So you enjoyed your childhood?
Yes, I did. Very much.
And
I did.
You were happy at school?
Yeah, very happy.
Okay,
yeah.
That's nice. So how is it like, being you? If you would describe yourself, what type of a character are you?
A very complicated one. You never really know what I really want. I can be at home and want to go out, but be out and never want to go home. I'm a very outdoor person at the same time. Yeah, I'm a lot of things at once. I'm a lot of...
So tell us more about you going through depression.
Okay, so taking it back from my childhood, I used to live with my mom and dad, as I explained. But on some days I would be with my aunt.
Okay.
So yeah, after I moved here in Pretoria, then that's how the distance happened. Then 2017, my aunt passed away, which really hit my heart because she was like my mom. She's like my mom. But as in the Black society, it's like, it's a funeral, it passes and we just, we move on. Not really knowing that it was it affected me in really a bad way. So I only realized that this year early, when I went into depression, it had other factors on, because looking back, after understanding everything I had to go through, looking back, I see that there were a lot of things that I ignored. Like you feel distance, you don't want people. But I was like, maybe that's my new character. And they'd be like, it's growing up. Not actually knowing that was a sign of me being into something. Yeah, so there were a lot of things that happened. So you think about a lot of things. You think I never wanted to take my life or anything like that. But it comes across your mind, like, why am I living for actually? Yeah. So yeah, that's what much pretty happened. But looking again at it, when we're going through the process, I found out it was not only about my aunt's death, because just after my aunt, 2018, my grandma passed. And I think it also had an impact, because I remember I literally never cried at all. What? Never cried at all, only to find out that once you have not grieved enough for the first one, you cannot move on to the second one. Yeah, so it was like, okay, so what? Because my aunt died, so why?
So what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, so it's like, she's not the first one to pass away, my aunt.
She's never coming back.
Yeah, so yeah, it has a lot of things. Then that's how I found out Ukuti. It built up it was a process, really, a very difficult
so
one.
you not maybe thinking of it, it actually build up some pain inside of you.
Yes, it does bring up a lot of pain.
And how did you feel at the moment, at that time?
You know, taking me back, I went to my psychologist and psychiatrist, those attending them both, and then they would want you to talk about it and tell them about it, and that's when you see actually you hurting very much. It's a pain. It's like they just called you and told you the person just passed away. It like starts all over. Yeah, it's a very painful process, but it helps.
As you move on, the pain fades away, or is it still there even today?
I would say for my aunt, it did fade away, but yeah, leaving good memories behind. Yeah, as they say, time heals. Time did heal. Yeah, it did heal.
Wow. And now how do you feel?
I feel much better, like literally better. And I think me being to my psychologist and psychiatrist, I got to learn a lot of things about taking care of your mental health. It's a very important thing. As much as you would go to a doctor's when you're not feeling well. You know, immediately when you start feeling weird, you go to the doctor. So it's the same thing. When you're not mentally okay, that's the first thing you should do, like go to a psychologist or psychiatrist, so that they can, you know, a little thing can make you, like your mood change. It's just maybe not having money for adults, not having money to, maybe they short of money or something like that. It can cost them, and under the mental health, a person can easily go crazy, like yeah. So I learned a lot of things under it, like literally a lot of things, and in such a way that I know when I am going to go down that road again. I can feel when I can go under depression. Then I learned techniques to stop myself from even going through that. In such a way, just last week I saw that I was not feeling okay. I was feeling down. I didn't want to do anything. So I decided something I would never do on a normal basis. I took my clothes, washed them and ironed them. All of them, repacked it's something that you do to get yourself off bad thoughts, because they all lead to, at the end, to suicidal thoughts. So it's a very good thing that you get your mind off it very quickly, because once you ignore it, like, let me sleep over it, you can even while you're sleeping, when you're down, you know, even if you're sleeping, you can even get up again and do like stunts of wanting to take your life, you know.
So please do join us after the break as we continue to discuss this with her. Welcome back on Trusted Talks with Njabulo Zulu. Before the break, we were discussing about BUHLE's experience going through depression and mental health. So now, let us go see what BUHLE's mom has to say about her seeing her daughter going through the depression.
Hi everybody, I'm BUHLE MTHIMUNYE and this is my beautiful, lovely place, Slovo Gardens.
Hi, I'm Grace Mthimmunye, BUHLE's mother. I'm just here to take you through how things went about when BUHLE was faced with depression. She suffered depression from 2019, also in 2020, and then it was severe in 2021. Whereby she couldn't go to school. He ended up having some panic attacks. I was there at night. She'll wake up feeling somehow like someone who's having some fits, but when we took her to the doctor, they said it was not the fits. Up until where I decided to take her to the psychiatrist, because I was not so sure what was it, because we were not, by that time I was not aware of a depression, even not thinking that a child might have a depression. Usually we think it's something that could be experienced by adults, being stressed by something, then ending up being depressed. So I didn't think it will happen to a child of her age. But I just said, let me just take her to the doctor and see what they will say. Then when we took her to the psychiatrist, she also said, let's take some medical checkups first before we go to the mental issues. Then they took her to a hospital to check the brain system, how everything works. Then they found that everything is fine. That means this thing is only mental, it's a depression. Then we took, she was supposed to be admitted in a mental institute, a hospital somewhere in Pretoria, but then she was not comfortable being there. Then we agreed with the psychiatrist that she just should be an outpatient, because I also was not feeling okay for her to be admitted, because I've looked at our other kids who were there. When I was comparing her situation to other kids, I just felt I'll be failing her as a mother to allow her to be there, because I was also in a denial that she's having a mental problem. But with the help of the psychiatrist and also the psychologist, she was an outpatient. She was supposed to see a psychiatrist twice a month and a psychologist also twice a month. So that was the journey that I went through with her. It was so depressing, because at night she'll wake up and call me. Always my phone was on loudspeaker. I made sure, because she will call and say, "Mom, I can't breathe." And it was so scary for me also to look at my child, seeing a child not being able to breathe. It was so frustrating. Sometimes I will just even cry, making sure that I cry alone so that she might not see that I'm also depressed, because I ended up being depressed also. Then the psychologist had to deal with her, and at the same time with the parents. Her father also was so supportive. He was there. Then we were taken on board how to deal with the situation, and to assure her that it's just on her mind, because if it's anything that has to do with mental depression, it is in her mind. So we had to reassure her every day that, no, you are breathing, because she will feel like she's no longer breathing, thinking that she's dying there and there. Then we had to remind her there again and again that you are still alive. Take a deep breath. We were taken through the steps of I don't know what they call it, but we will be with her and tell her to breathe in maybe so many times, breathe out. Then she'll come around, and then after a while, when she's okay, she will just say what had happened. She will not remember anything of the things that were happening. That was more stressful to me, when the child would be in such a horrible traumatic situation, but she doesn't remember anything. So it was painful for me. But now after all the sessions with the psychologists and the psychiatrists, they managed to help her. And to me as a parent, at some point I just felt that, no, I think this is demonic. Yeah, I couldn't just believe it. It's just a mental something, that condition. I just associated it with the demonic issues. But again, yes, I said, yeah, devil uses sicknesses to attack us. All sicknesses are demonic. Also, this one is demonic, but they helped her a lot. The psychiatrist and our help also helped a lot. Though it was a period of, I think, 8 months whereby it was severe, but it felt like so many years to me as a parent, looking at your first child, your first daughter. Because usually I did everything with her. Almost everything I'm doing in the house, I'm with her. Wherever I go, I'm with her. So by that time, that 8 months period, it was so frustrating for me. Couldn't go somewhere, sleep somewhere, leaving her behind. Everywhere I go, I must make sure that she's here, because I don't know when the attacks will start. When will she start feeling that shortness of breath? So I should always be there. Just imagine that at night you are always awake. In the morning, should prepare, go to work, all those things. It was just so depressing for me. But in the end, everything went out. They did help her. She's okay. Even now as I'm speaking, she's okay. We've even forgotten about the situation, about everything that has happened. That's thanks to the doctors and making us aware that even kids, they go through depression also. Now she's even willing to assist other kids, and I'm so supportive with that too. help them when they are depressed. Not so long ago, I had this friend of mine whom was also depressed. I called her and told her that BUHLE went through this and she can assist your child. They changed the numbers and they started helping her. She was also admitted. He was talking to her while in hospital. Then she just saw that, oh, this is not the first thing. I'm not the first person to experience this. It helped her a lot. So I think talking about such issues, it will help these generations that we are having now, because even our generation as parents, we don't take this seriously. So, but now that we know those who were there, I think we should help other parents who have not yet been there or who are there but not knowing that they can get help. I think this will help them a lot. BUHLE is fine. She's doing well. Went back to school. She's in grade 11 now, performing so well. And thanks to all the doctors who were supporting her through the difficult time. Thank you.
Welcome back. As you have heard BUHLE's mom's side of story, so please do join us after the break as we continue to discuss this with her. Welcome back. As you have heard BUHLE's mom's side of story, let's continue discussing this with BUHLE. So now I want to know how did you deal with the depression?
I had to, as I said, I went to the psychologist and psychiatrist, and they had to help me with it. And there are steps, processes of grieving, and which I did not really complete, because on the first one I was helped just with the first one.
Okay.
Where it was about writing a letter to my aunt. It was the worst, because I did it at home. Days passed and I did it at home, and I was writing the letter to my aunt with a lot of anger and things, and I wrote like literally everything, how I'm angry at her for passing, and a lot of things, you know, you just write out your heart. And just then after that, I had a burst out, and it was just like, as I said, it's just like they called you now and they said they passed away, because my mom had me scream from the other room, just from the letter, it's not anything like that, it's just the letter. And I screamed from the other side crying, and that's when my mom came in. So there was a lot of things that I did, and continue to go to the psychologist, talking to a person, and the more the time went, I even got comfortable into talking to other people about it, and which makes it much easier. You heal a bit faster and quicker, talking to people, telling them how you feel. And how shocking when you tell them their story, that's when they would tell you theirs, and which was bottled up, and they couldn't express it, and they thought it was normal, right? Yeah, you get to even make them talk about it, and you tell them, yeah, it's normal, it's okay to talk about it, it's nothing, it's not embarrassing, it's just maybe the society that makes it embarrassing, but it's not embarrassing, it's just a simple thing like being sick, which we know to talk about. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's very impressive. And what would you say to a person now who's going through depression, not only a teenager, but also an adult? What would you say to them? What can they do?
My first advice is that go talk to someone. I feel like you need professional help, because you cannot weigh other people with your problems. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but they would never give you the right advice because of their own experience. It needs somebody who's as a professional. So yeah, talking to somebody who's a professional, getting the solution, knowing the techniques to use to go through this, even if it's a little thing, it doesn't matter. The minute you feel stressed out, talk to anyone. They even government psychologists and psychiatrists, so it's free. You don't even need an excuse that you don't have money. They made this so that, because they knew the such things that happened, so they had to open up such things. So you can go to those people, talk to them, and they would give you like great advice, because it's really mental health. It's something that we should take seriously. It's really serious.
And what can you say are the symptoms of depression or mental health as a whole?
First one is like changing of behavior totally. Your behavior, it doesn't mean that you would be a bad person or rude person or anything like that. It can change into you isolating yourself, wanting your own space, which is what, you know, as we said, it leads to suicidal, because the minute you're alone, there's a lot of things you can do on your own, unlike when you're with people. Yeah, isolation. I can say also others, they even go into substance abuse. They feel like drugs can help them, alcohol can help them, because they can't express it to anyone. So they feel, you know, there's a lot of things that they do. There are a lot of things that we can count on. Anything that is not on a normal healthy person would do. It's just, those are the symptoms. Yeah.
So the last thing that I wanna know is, how can someone make themselves happy? Like if there's a point where they feel sad, how can they make themselves to be happy?
You know, making yourself happy includes a lot of things. It includes the environment you're in. You have to look at the environment firstly. Are you in a comfortable environment where, as I said, mental health and whatever. The minute you're not in a comfortable situation, you just zoom out. You're not comfortable. You're not comfortable at all. So it needs you to be in a comfortable place, knowing what's good for you and knowing what you like, you know, scaling whatever you as a person like knowing yourself actually. You know, then that will help you knowing where actually you want to go. Yeah, it would really help to be happy.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
I am really grateful that you were able to make it, and I am sure that there is that one person who needed to hear this. And thank you so much. You are an inspiration to a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us yet again on Trusted Talks with Njabulo Zulu. And remember, in a positive and gentle way, you can change the world. Thank you.